What's up, people? Mike here, and this is Batman Arkham Knight, New Game Plus. So, as I mentioned in the last two videos, the sequence where you need to go to the drone relay, and you need to take out two missile towers, which are basically just like predator towers, and then you have a fight in the control room, which isn't too difficult. Once you, as I said previously, you take out the medics, and you have, I think, one brute or maybe two, I can't remember, and there's also like one section with, I believe it's 5 of the Cobra tanks, but it's really not too difficult, especially the Cobra part. If you have the upgrade where you can shoot close by the tank and it'll draw it to go investigate like what it was, so you can just get behind and lock onto it and destroy it. As I said, you know, it really sucked that I was a complete dumbass and accidentally deleted the file from the Elgato program, so I couldn't even like retrieve it from my recycling bin. And like I said, there's probably programs out there where I could somehow get the files back, but it just kind of seems like in the end it's just more work than I feel like is necessary for a section that isn't too entirely difficult. Like, if it had been like one of the Arkham Knight battles, I probably would have just said fuck it and just start a new save file just to get to that part, just so I could re-record that. But because it was a section that I feel like wasn't too difficult, considering that once I took out like the midpoint Arkham Knight like kind of conversation in the control room and some of the travel to get into the locations, especially when you go to the clock tower and everything, the entire video probably would have been between 12 and 15 minutes if I had to go on a guess, remembering how long some of those sequences were. But one regret I have about losing that footage is that during the fight in the control room, it was the very first time in the 1.5 playthroughs of the game where I actually had a frame rate issue. I don't know what it was. The first time I went through the game in that combat room in the control room, I didn't have a frame rate issue, but for some reason this time on New Game Plus, I don't know what it was. It was just like there were just enough guys on the screen doing attacks or something, but the frame rate dropped down to some, like, it felt like it was like 15 or 20 frames, and it got kind of rough there, just like on appearance. Amazingly, I didn't get hit during that whole little bit, but that was just, you know, just for that alone, I would have liked to have at least had that footage to show off. But, you know, in the end, like I said, it sucks that I lost the footage, but it was at least in a section that wasn't entirely difficult, that you can't get through it without a guide, since it's mostly just like two predator towers and then a combat room and a Cobra tank area. But you know, this point, once going through the game once and then going through a new game plus, you should at this point be pretty used to the controls and what you need to do. But like I said, if it had been like one of the Arkham Knight battles, I would have started a new save file and just steamrolled through the game, and just so I could get back to New Game Plus, just to be able to record one of those sections. But yeah, after all that stuff and you go to the clock tower, you have to come back to the movie studios because Harley Quinn, her thugs have taken over the studio. And I always leave the guys by the main door for last, because for some reason when you need to beat down this brute with the chain gun, I don't know if it's because of how far away you are, they don't like get alerted to it. So when I get back over there, they're just kind of standing around, you know, chit-chatting. And then I believe if I had like approached these guys like kind of crouched, I might have been able to have gotten a multi-fear takedown. The other thing I should have done was that I should have saved one of these shots for the ammo crate. And also, I think right below me there's a wall that you can put some explosive gel on. I probably could have gotten like one or two of the guys to investigate over there, and I could have at least taken him out that way. Like, for considering how well I did the first part of this area and taking the guys out stealth, this end part is it's not terrible, but considering the first half, it's not as good as it probably could have been. And this is one of those moments where I was trying to grapple up to the walkway that was right above me, but for some reason I grappled to that area, so I ended up taking some shots from that deployed turret, so that kind of sucked. And for some reason, even though I shot that guy's gun with the disable, he must have gone to the ammo crate and gotten a new gun. Is the only thing I can figure. I don't know why the first guy didn't, but I guess the other two guys somehow had the time to go over to the ammo crate and get new guns. But once you deal with those guys, you just have to disable these turrets so that you can enter the studio and take the elevator down to save Robin. There's a somewhat long sequence in the elevator with Joker, and in the course of the game, this is when they introduce you to the guys with the riot shields, who are very annoying. But once you get into this room, the one thing you want to focus on is that when you get the option to do the tag team like takedown, you want to use that on the brute just so you can get rid of him as soon as you can. I don't initially get the takedown on the brute, but I believe either the next one I get or the one after I managed to actually get the brute with it. Since thankfully with the brute, it just like any of the other enemies, it's an instant like takeout on them. It's not like it stuns them or something. And then just like with Batman, how I changed his skin, for Robin I changed him to the new 52 Robin outfit, just to make it different. It's actually funny because in one of the later cutscenes when you enter the cell, in the cutscene Robin takes off his mask, but because of the skin I have on, he goes to take off his mask, but the mask is still on his face, and he's just holding his hand out like he's supposed to have the mask, but it's not there. It's one of those little funny moments where they didn't really render the cutscene to accommodate for the skin change.